Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. In this video I would like to share with you about a point like if you find that some children or some even elder people also they fail to adjust with wearing a hearing aids, then how will you motivate them to wear the hearing aid, or how will you help them adjust with wearing the hearing aid? At first we need to mark out that if there is some difficulty, some problem that the child is facing with wearing the hearing aid, or the person is facing with wearing the hearing aid. Okay. There must be some reason for which he or she is not willing to wear the hearing aid. Okay. Now, hearing aid is an electronic device, and therefore our normal voice, when it comes to the hearing aid, it gets little bit changed. Okay, so the person may find some difficulty in hearing that particular sound, okay, which sounds like some electronic sound. Okay, a very simple example I am giving you, like for example, you know a person, he or she is your neighbor, you know him or her, and you talk to him or her. Okay, so you know that voice of that person quite easily, but in some program, if that person becomes the host or anchor and he has to say everything through a mic, he has to make announcements in a mic, that is microphone, then what will happen? His voice will slightly differ from his original voice. Can you get this? Okay, so that particular difference, okay, we fail to adjust, but this actually doesn't make any difficulty for us, because we all know that that person is speaking over microphone, so sound is getting little changed. Okay, but in case of such a person, it so happens that they don't take it easily in making adjustment. Another point is that when the person was unable to hear any sound, or was able to hear very less sound for so many years or so many months, in that case it so happens that the particular part of the brain of that person that deals with the hearing of sound and voices and all, that gets deprived of receiving sounds. Okay, then that is called auditory deprivation. So in that case, all of a sudden that part of our brain has to take so many sounds, okay, has to take signals of so many sounds, okay, human voice, animal sounds, other mechanical sounds, so many things. Okay, therefore that person feels uncomfortable with so many sounds at the same time. Till yesterday he or she was in such a position that they failed to hear anything, or they heard very little sound. Okay, but today what happened, all of a sudden all this noise it came. Okay, so that may be a reason of discomfort for that person. Okay, another reason maybe is that if the atmosphere is very noisy, then the person fails to adjust, because same thing, all of a sudden all these type of noisy things. Okay, and the hearing aid is such a system that makes us hear all the sounds, that takes all the sounds into our ears. So what happens, if you rub two pieces of papers also, okay, that little amount of sound, that also will be heard by a person wearing hearing aid. Okay, so it is quite sure that that person will feel uncomfortable, because sounds that he wants to hear will also come to him, sounds he doesn't want to hear also comes to him. Okay, so that will not be easily adjusted by that person. Okay, again, that person may not feel it good to wear a hearing aid. Okay, because he may feel that people will know that I am deaf, or I can't hear properly, and I'll be stigmatized, or all these things may come to his mind. so he may not be willing to wear the hearing aid. Okay, but in that case, it is the duty of the family members and the therapist also, if that person approaches the therapist, then because we need to motivate that person. We need to motivate that person to wear that hearing aid, to tell him why he should wear a hearing aid. Okay, or where is his need to wear the hearing aid. Okay, without that hearing aid, what are the difficulties that he or she may face, he or she may come across. Okay, that way we need to explain to that person, we need to make the person understand. Okay, that's the point. Now, after knowing these reasons, we can go to help the person make adjustment in wearing the hearing aid. We all know that if we wear the hearing aid for a longer period of time, it helps us make adjustment with the wearing the hearing aid quite easily. But practically that is not that much easy to make one person adjusted with wearing a hearing aid so easily. Okay, because now I am not wearing anything in my ear, means I am feeling free. Okay, and some outward thing I am putting into my ear for the whole day. Okay, definitely it's a feeling of discomfort. Okay, it's quite obvious. So we may start with 1 hour duration at first, 1 hour or 45 minutes. Okay, like the duration we can use. For example, we can make a schedule that you wear the hearing aid for 1 hour, then another 1 hour you take it off, again 1 hour you wear it, again the next hour you take it off, like that. Okay, and here one point we need to remember, that there are some points of time where we should not wear the hearing aid. Number one, while taking bath. Okay, while taking bath or while going for bath, we need to take our hearing aid out, take it out. Okay, and keep it aside. Okay, so that it doesn't come into contact with water. Okay, and then it will get damaged. Number two, when you are going to be engaged with some outdoor games I mean to say actually, like games or sports that involves much of your body movements. Okay, for example, if you are playing chess, okay, that doesn't demand that much of your body movement, that you are moving from here and there like that. In that case you can wear. But in other sports where you need to move from here and there, okay, or you have to run or something like that, in that type of sports, during that period of time, you should take the hearing aid out of the ear. Okay, you shouldn't wear it, I mean. Again, number three, when you shouldn't wear it is when you go for sleeping. Okay, that is at night. Okay, bedtime. So before going to bed, we need to take out the hearing aid. We need to take off the we need to remove the battery from the hearing aid, and we should keep it aside. Now, where to keep the hearing aid when we are not wearing it? That's again one important point. Okay, and we should remember that we shouldn't keep the hearing aid on any electronic device, electronic gadget or something like that. Okay, we shouldn't keep it on a TV, on some stabilizer, or on a fridge like that. Okay, next day morning when we get up and we take the hearing aid for wearing, then definitely we will insert the batteries first. Okay, after inserting the batteries, we should check the volume before wearing it. There is a volume switch. Okay, we should set the volume properly before wearing it in our ears. If the volume switch remains at a high point and you suddenly wear it, then sudden loud noise may disturb you. Okay, so we need to adjust it beforehand. Again, when the person starts wearing a hearing aid, we should prefer that he or she wears the hearing aid at such a time when there is no noise. Okay, because if the atmosphere is disturbing, again so many noise, so many sounds will come together to his ears and he will feel discomfort. Okay, so starting to wear a hearing aid can be started at such a time when there is least noise, least disturbance in the atmosphere. Okay, again we need to remember one thing that is very important, like being the family member of a hearing impaired person, we must be in the habit of speaking in a loud voice to that person, okay, so that he or she can hear, okay, before wearing the hearing aid, remember. Okay, now today that person got a hearing aid and all of a sudden we can't remember that he is wearing a hearing aid, so we shouldn't speak loudly. I understand that we can't suddenly remember all these things, okay, so we are in the habit of speaking aloud to that person, but in this case we need to remember that we should speak slowly in a low voice, okay, because since he is wearing a hearing aid, he will hear every sound, each and every sound, okay, uh, may the volume be high or low, doesn't matter. Again, we should remind the person that when he shouldn't wear the hearing aid, okay, after reminding him for some days, definitely that person will be able to remember by himself or herself, and will be able to follow that, okay. When you start wearing a hearing aid, at first you shouldn't start wearing it in front of TV, or in order to attend some mobile phone calls or something like that, okay. uh, First, one should wear the hearing aid and get adjusted to it with normal environment, with normal atmosphere, with common human voice, with the voice of your family member, like that, okay. Then gradually that person will be able to adjust with the electronic voice, like voice from TV, or voice from some mobile phone calls. Again, while motivating a person towards wearing a hearing aid, we can do one thing, that we can simply explain that if we face difficulty, we need to overcome that difficulty also, okay, by taking help of so many things, okay. So many assistive devices are coming up these days, so we should take help of those things, okay. One such thing is spectacles. One who fails to see properly uses a spectacles, okay. One who fails to walk properly, or suppose an old man, okay, he or she will use a staff, okay. Similarly, if I fail to hear properly, I can wear a hearing aid. It's as simple as that, okay. Wearing spectacles or taking a stick for walking, if this thing doesn't look odd, how can wearing a hearing aid look odd? It's also nothing odd. It's quite normal, it's quite natural, okay. And we need to sensitize the persons actually regarding the difficulties that he or she may come across by not wearing a hearing aid. We all are very much aware of all these things, okay, that we fail to hear anything, or we fail to hear something properly, and we are going somewhere, or we are in a gathering, we are in a party. What are the difficulties that we may face, okay, we may come across? In that way also we can sensitize the persons, so that they get motivated, they get willing to use the hearing aid, okay. So this is all about making a child adjusted to wearing a hearing aid. So I hope you will be benefited by watching this video. Kindly write your feelings after watching this video in the comment box below. Thank you so much.